there we go. Thank God. All right. News coming in here now. Breaking news. The U.S. citizens of Belarus should immediately leave the country according to the U.S. Embassy in Minsk. Here's the full statement on why and what action should be taken. The Lithuanian government on August 18 closed 2 borders crossing Belarus. Action take do not travel to Belarus due to Belarusian authorities' continued facilitation of Russia's unprovoked attack on Ukraine. The build-up of Russian military forces in Belarus, the arbitrary enforcement of local laws, the potential of civil unrest, the risk of detention, and the embassy limit ability to assist U.S. citizens residing in or traveling to Belarus. U.S. citizens in Belarus should depart immediately, considering departing via the remaining borders crossing with Lithuania and Latvia, or by plane. U.S. citizens are not permitted to enter Poland over land from Belarus. Do not travel to Russia or to Ukraine. Obviously, what? The kind of a last statement that people make sometimes, which is like stupid statement, whatever. Doesn't matter. U.S. Department ordering all citizens to leave Belarus immediately. Is war coming to Belarus? That is the question. Or is war coming to Europe? This was that one was stated 3 hours ago. So it's not completely new news, right? But that one was stated 3 hours ago. Had issued an alert, and they're all saying do not travel. As this is like a kind of like a, are you going to? There's going to be a war, stuff like that. No, listen. U.S. will always receive such statements when the head of when things are getting heavy and when things are getting unstable, there will be such statements that comes out. And of course, you know, they're saying leave Belarus, which is the reason why they're saying that is because, well, we know that stuff is going on there, and we know that things could be happening. We know that there may or may not be unprovoked attacks. I mean, you can see today alone here, we have a river joint that's been doing, you know, check out this river joint right here as well. This is on Flight Trader. Look at that. This continuous surveillance right here. It's a river joint right here that's been doing surveillance. We've got NATO 21, which is an E3 that's been doing that's doing active surveillance right now in the North Sea. We have cargo ships. We have a tanker that appears to have been doing circles down here to refueling something down there. We have Forte 10 in the Black Sea. We have multiple Russian planes. This is the Belarusian planes, by the way. They have not seen that. I've not seen a lot of Belarusian military planes fly up before. Further indications that they're either if this one is landing in Iran, we know something's up there, which is exactly what it's looking like it's gonna go. Probably Indian right there. This is a Russian cargo plane. As well as there's another Russian cargo plane and another Russian cargo plane. They're all probably gonna head to China, as that's where we've seen most. I know that there's a Copper Ball river. Well, it looks like a river joint, but it's called Copper Ball. It's out here. And that's what's happening right now. And most about the things. We got a B-52 up just outside here. I mean, either they got spooked or something's happening. This isn't me stating here that there's a war coming within seconds, but what I'm stating is that the chances are now heightening if the U.S. are not calling on citizens. That means that they are afraid of a real possibility. Now that's my implications of what's happening there. But this is an F-16 right there. All right, we got multiple different kind of planes up. We have a Doomsday plane up. United States Doomsday plane. Not uncommon to see those planes up, but it is up. We have really not a lot of tankers. How you doing, Nana? We got Albatross. This B-52 right here. That's something. multiple different aircrafts down here as well. We got the United States right here. What? Oh. Hello. There's a Belarusian plane landing in Venezuela. I gotta get a cut of this. Venezuela, Belarus being a active partner and supporter of Russia and its war in Ukraine. What the fuck is going on back here? Jesus Christ. They're using the same cam. I'm not having that on. I don't care. I'm just gonna have without sound right now because I'm not listening to that. There are multiple amount of air activity over everywhere right now. This river joint right here has been doing conduction amount of surveillance. I mean this was okay. Well, I didn't expect that. I mean, that's kind of like Russia flying to Venezuela, right? I mean, this you know, either they're picking up something or they're dropping off something. You know, if they're working with Venezuela being a authoritarian kind of rule and has a previous history of wanting to work with the that's okay. That's two B-52s up right now. There's two B-52s bombers up right now over the U.S. That's not common. That you don't see that every day. That right there is not common. That you want. There's a Cobra ball over here as well, so that's not exactly common. I would say that there's two B-52s up over. Thank God. Oh, God damn it. Okay, you know what? 88 speed is not doing a lot right now. We'll just put this one up here. So we got one B-52 here and another B-52 over here. We got a Belarusian plane entering into Venezuela. It's basically a Russian ally entering a few 100 miles off Puerto Rico. Don't know why I said it like that, but within range of anything of the U.S. Do I think that's what's spooking the United States? You got a Russian ally that's landing in Venezuela or going to Venezuela. It looks like it just turned off its transponder as well. Look at that. No, it's not. It's still on. All right. Well, I don't even know if it's landing in Venezuela. I mean, it's going there, right? I mean, it looks like it's going there. I mean, where else would it be going, right? But you know, we got one B-52 here and another B-50. We got a Doomsday plane. We got another B-52 here. Not every day you see two B-52s up over the U.S. We have river joints that's been doing surveillance. We have Cobra balls. We have, I mean, the U.S. citizens are my title as well as what. So it's we got three B-52s. We have three B-52s up in the air right now. We have one, two, three B-52s in the air right now. Yeah, so this is not. I mean, at some point you got to realize that that's not something you see every day. I mean, unless they're doing some kind of massive exercise, which, by the way, I'm not gonna discount the fact that they have been known. But look at this one, for example. They're also doing surveillance down here. Is Cuba working with them? Is Cuba not working with them? What's happening here? Are are the Russians working with Cuba? Is this a Cuba crisis all over again? What's going on here? I'm in Illinois, so I'm watching the one in Michigan. Can you see it? Or are you all right? Nice. So yeah, this is happening. I have no idea as to why. I mean, all I know right now is that there was a statement from the U.S. Embassy that told all of its citizens in Belarus to get the fuck out of there, which, you know. I've not seen that before. I've not seen three B-52s in the air at the same time. I mean, you have it on your phone. Yeah, this one is in Michigan. Sorry, I was about to say Mexican, but that's not exactly what it's called. All right, shit. I mean, listen, I'm not a military expert. I have no idea what that means. Listen, I think it's raining a lot in Ukraine, and that's what's making that noise. So we'll just have to kind of live with it. I'll turn it down a lot, so we got it. So if anything does happen, we can hear it. This is yeah. I mean, can't be wrong here, but three B-52s is a lot. I have no idea if there's any kind of exercise. We also have multiple E3s up. We have two E3s right there. A Doomsday plane. Let's see what 88 speed is showing. There are P8s up as well. Yeah, longitude amount of P8s are also up. Yeah, good amount of P8s. Is that? Oh my god! What? Look at that! Look at that! I don't know why the fuck Flight Trader 88 speed is acting like this, but it's doing it. Come on! Good fucking job. These are Air Force. Is that Air Force 2? God damn it! What the fuck is it doing? That right there is another Doomsday plane heading towards. That is another Doomsday plane. And behind it, if 88B wants to work today, it appears to not be wanting to work today at all, whatsoever. So that's right there. Look at that. That looks like two Air Force 2s, right? Or am I don't know what the fuck they're called. I mean, that's what they look like, right? There's a Doomsday plane over here, and then there's two of these behind it. I don't know if is the president moving or it could be. One of these could be Air Force One. I mean, I'll be honest. And it's just showing the same or two of those. I mean, these are strategic command centers, right? Or how do you want to put it? No, that one's also showing up. You got that B-52 down there. You got another B-52 somewhere over here. You go Flight Trader, right? This is why, if you're just joining in here, we have three B-52s up in the air right now. We have one B-52 there, another B-52 down here, and another B-52 here. Multiple on the P-8s, river joints, E-3s, all kinds of surveillance, Cobra balls. I wish there wasn't a fucking ad all over the place. And now I can't go up because, okay, yeah, no, yeah, you're doing a great job. You know that, right? 88 speed, you're doing just fine. You're amazing. Just so amazing. Can't even keep up with the simplest fucking tasks. Multiple amount of P8s. Well, he may be going. Okay, well that could explain why these two are flying and there's a doomsday plane in front. That's probably why. I mean, I'd imagine then he's probably visiting Maui. Yeah, I'd imagine that's why we got so many planes up right now, or not. Well, why we got that convoy of planes right here going into Maui. To expect the damage, is that's what he's doing. That would make sense. Where the fuck is that plane going? There's a Belarusian plane right here. Is it going down? Still tracking. I don't know where it's landing. I'm reckoning it's gonna land like over here, where it can conveniently get very close. You know? Conveniently, it can get extremely close. As close as it can get to the US. Is that what we're thinking? There's a tanker in the area. They're obviously keeping an eye out, you know? There's a US tanker in the area. It looks like it's landing or doing some kind of ground patrol, or maybe it's landing. I mean, there's not really any airport out here, so it would have to turn sometime, or it's refueling or doing something. But there's, I mean, listen, this thing right here is Belarusian. That's a Russian ally. I don't know what the fuck it's doing, but it's there and it's going into Venezuela. What the fuck is going on? I mean, really, what the fuck is going on? He's got no idea what the fuck's going on, but something's... I mean, you can't discount the fact that at this point, something's probably going on. Operational information... God damn it. Operational information from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine as of 18 August. During the day, the enemy launched 2 missiles and more than 30 airstrikes fired 35 times from multiple launch rocket systems at the positions of troops. Position of troops and populated areas. Unfortunately, the Russian terrorists resulted in the death and injuries among civilian population. Moreover, 20 combat engagements took place all over the last day. This is from today as well. Just 1 hour ago, that one was given out. All right, so getting a look at the field here. Let's see if there's any changes on the battlefield here. No major changes as of today. The only changes I have already covered and was from yesterday. So they're fighting for it. Ukraine, of course, receiving at this point up to 60. I think it was 61 or 60 F-16s, which is a great day for Ukraine. I mean, F-16s are what's gonna be help. What's gonna F-16 is gonna help win the war for Ukraine. They keep going off with this right now. U.S. citizens in Belarus should depart immediately. Embassy statement. U.S. embassy in Belarus, and they're also not banned from traveling, but they're advising everybody not to travel there. They're saying do not travel there. They're saying you cannot go there. Sorry, I was just wondering something there. We are you have risk of being detained. There is possibly something going on. We have a Belarusian plane going to Venezuela or something. I mean, I'm gonna have to track this. What this is right? What is this? Is it the is it the Cuba crisis all over? Now it's gonna be nicknamed the fucking Venezuelan crisis, right? And that's what's happening. It's gonna be nicknamed this Venezuelan crisis or something like that. Uh, this could all be part of like a major, operation, a major. This could all be part of like a major. How did you put that? Sorry, how do you say? Military exercise from the USA, and that wouldn't be uncommon. It wouldn't not you've seen that before. Could be them posturing up, them doing what they can. Although the only thing I don't see how that could be an exercise is how they're spread out. Because you're flying two in Texas, right? There's two. Well, they're not both in Texas. One is in Louisiana and one is in Texas, and the other one is in Michigan. So I feel like if you're doing an exercise, either it's like a protection one or you're just looking out for things, because one of them is really, really far away. Has been trying to get up to altitude. I think it's in altitude now. It was trying to get up into altitude, so it wasn't that long ago it took off. Pierce said all of them has now been trying to get into altitude or are now either they're doing surveillance over the areas where they are. Possibly when you got a B-52, you want to make sure that what they're doing is being ready, right? Although I don't see how one of them flying in Texas and all that stuff, that looks like, some of them looks like exercises. We have seen the one flying in Texas before. It's been that's been doing some kind of surveillance up there before. Although the other thing is that it's doing, there's an E3 doing, I said that before, there's an E3 that's been doing surveillance down at Florida and upside, just crossed the Mexican border. How you doing, Sick? You heard the news, Sick? Free B-52s. Strasbourg are up over the U.S. right now. All U.S. citizens told to leave Belarus. Is something happening? Are you going to follow along? Of course you are. You're here. Now, they're doing surveillance what appears to be on the Mexican border. I don't know why they are doing that, if it's some kind of exercise. Listen, I have no idea. We got this Belarusian plane that's about to land in Venezuela. I think this is one of the biggest things I've seen in so far, because Belarus is an active, one of the closest, if not the most closest Russian ally. and it is working together with Russia. So anything Belarus does is basically what Russia does. Either they're provocating something, or they're picking up something, or they're showing Venezuela is on the side of the Russians, which we already knew they are. I mean, Venezuela has been famously quite how would you put that? Quite a famously authoritarian pro-Russian country, and has been on the side of the Russians for a very long time. Even when the Soviets was there, you know, they were on the side of them. So this is really, I mean, this is happening right here. And my question for this is it going to be called the Venezuelan crisis? I mean, are they flying missiles in? Are they flying anything in? I mean, I guess we won't see the news exactly before or later, right? But there's an Osprey now taking off from North Carolina. So this one, it looks like it's heading out to sea now, or landing. Is it landing? Is it going down? It can't land here, can it? Where did it take off? It took off from Sherport, or close to that. I don't think these things can't land on normal airports, can they? Or can't? Maybe they can. I don't know. I got no idea. I mean, I'm not a B-52 expert. I mean, they're doing surveillance, checking it out, seeing if they still work, and then you know, this just comes as a time of when everything is very tense. So whenever you see this, you're kind of like, you know, what the fuck's going on? So we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, where are they going, right? There's two, what appears to be Air Force Two. I think one of them may be Air Force One, but it's just a wrong picture. Get that up right here. So I think the president should be heading towards Maui to expect damages. We have a doomsday plane right here, which is showing on Flight Trader. We have two doomsday planes, and one is in the middle of the Pacific right now. I mean, it's out here, but it's not showing right now. It appears to be just gone offline. There's a Cobra ball in the area over here as well, doing surveillance. So I mean, and there's multiple amount of Russian planes, not only in China, but they're also heading towards China. We got Azerbaijan. Okay, well, that's nothing. Look at that. Another Russian plane right there, and another Russian plane right there. So really, a lot. A lot, guys. There's a lot. I do, John. How you doing, Rose? Yes, I am quite early. Well, the news are, you can read my title. You can get the latest news. And two B-52s over the U.S., multiple doomsday planes, P-8s, all surveillance all over, and everything is going wild. You want to hear me talk about it? Go back in the video a bit so you can hear me say things that I talk about. The most prominent things going on right now, just for everybody who's joining in, we have a Belarusian plane in Venezuela. Venezuela, of course, being, you know, pro-Russian and, well, sort of on the fence of that, but of course Belarus being, you know, one of the most prominent Russian allies. So, you know, this is quite insane. And it doesn't appear to be landing either. It appears to actually have gone up in altitude by now. So it's in Venezuela. It's probably going to land eventually, right? I mean, it's going to land eventually. It's just gone up in altitude, so it's heading somewhere. Wherever this plane is landing, you know, either way, it's getting somewhere. 100 degrees. Well, then you're going to melt. Sick. I hope you don't mean 100 degrees. I hope you mean 100 Fahrenheit, but... I hope you don't mean 100 degrees, then you're gonna melt. Well, I mean, the U.S. tells a lot of people to leave the country all the time. The only problem is now that they're warning against going to the country again, but that they may just be doing it because they're realizing that the Belarusians are harassing and doing all kinds of things, and realizing that if Lithuania and Poland and Latvia is closing their borders with Belarus, nothing can come in and out. That means that the Belarusians and anybody in the country cannot go out of the country unless it was by air or something like that, which I don't even know if they can. So, point is, they have to get out now, and I think the U.S. has then gotten intel that possibly means that Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland is probably going to close the borders. They cannot even go from Belarus directly over Poland right now. There's no Belarusian planes that are allowed to actually fly directly from Belarus over to Polish territory. The only way they're allowed to leave the country is if they go over Latvia and Lithuanian border, or maybe they can drive from Belarus to Poland if they got the right papers. But I mean, there's a sick amount of surveillance going on right now, guys. We got NATO 21. There was an E3 doing surveillance just in the North Sea as well. We have Riverjoint that's been doing surveillance in the Baltics and Kaliningrad and all around Belarus and everything. I mean, the spider web is developing. It's not. It's not anything. It's not anything, John. It's just a spider web on the camera. It's not anything serious. Is he okay in Poland? I mean, guys, they haven't launched the invasion yet. So yes, I think he's okay. This is not me sitting here saying that they're about to go to war, guys. This is me sitting here saying that there's things happening that could be a pretext to things happening, and a Belarusian plane in fucking Venezuela, which is a major escalation, if anything, because they're a Russian ally and it's a cargo plane. So whatever it's flying, there's actually two Belarusian planes. I've never seen them up before. I mean, there's one that took off from Belarus and went inside Russia, and then is now landing in Iran. You know, and there's another that took off that's been either it took off from an island in it looks like it landed in looked like it took off from Barbados and it then flew into Venezuela. So it literally looks like it's been a transatlantic flight. So it looked like it took off from Belarus. I don't even know how the fuck it got out of Europe, or if it's a stationed one that's been in the area. I would imagine that they're getting whatever they can in. I mean, I think Belarus has been told by Russia to get everything they can and to help them out by getting everything they can. So I believe that we're seeing a major shift right now, and we're seeing a major collection of everything right now. I mean, if it means that if Russia is flying more than one cargo plane at once, they're collecting in whatever they're collecting in for. It's a lot, you know. So I mean, if that plane from Belarus has to come back from Venezuela, I mean, Jesus Christ, we might not see this war happening before 2030 if they're going this slow. If they want to get everything in place first, right, or whatever the fuck they're doing, right. But I just have that feeling that something's happening. That feeling of something may be happening. It's God. I mean, it is popping off, as you can imagine. Well, it's about to go, particularly in the other direction. Well, the only thing is, I mean, I just don't know why they're told to leave. If they're told to leave, the U.S. knows something is up, right? I mean, that's the implication. If the U.S. tells their citizens to leave, wow. The armed forces of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso all operate the Barayakta TB2 attack drone, which has been seen significant combat against the Russians in Ukraine, and will surely be used against any sort of ECOWAS-led military intervention. However, ECOWAS France would likely have air superiority. Yeah. Over the country, making the drones much less efficient. Now, the other part is there has been news about Niger. What appears to be is that Niger is taking a pro-Western stand in its funny stance, right? It says that it will not allow Wagner in its country. It already has allowed Wagner in its country. It says that it will allow the French people to stay in its country and just be less condescending, which is a weird way to put it, but sure. It also has stated to anyone, like to the U.S. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, they're stating to the U.S. they're thanking Biden for taking his no side agreement, and they're now what appears to be taking a pro-Western stand, making it look like ECOWAS is going to be the bad guys if they invade, which I gotta give him. It's a smart choice, because if they're invaded by a country that France can now reclaim. Well, not directly reclaim, right? But they can decide over, or how would you want to put it, right? That means that. That means. I just completely love my friend. I don't know what the fuck's going on with me today. It means that they're moving to the western point so they can spin the narrative is that ECOWAS attempts to invade. It's gonna spin it and look like it's the victim, and make it look like France is allowed to stay in the country and allowed to not only control but be in the country and keep on to its older colonial rules, which they're very happy about France, and if they could do that, they're willing to probably defend. So it's a smart stand, although it's just a easily swayed stance by the West. And the West and the EU and France are just so easily swayed that if they say, like, oh yeah, yeah, come on, you know, like, come on, France, we're the best ones, yeah, come on, then they're so easily swayed, but it's hilarious. Also, Ukrainian pilots are apparently going to be trained by Greece. I have not heard about that one, but I have heard that Greece consists of some of the best pilots in the world and have some of the best training programs, which is to me a bit stunning. I mean, the Greece military is not the weakest in the world, certainly the most efficient. They have some internal problems, but it's got its meritism, and it can do a lot of damage, surely. And they also apparently have some of the best pilots in the world. I mean, that comes off the Greek work ethic, which has since the fucking Bronze Age been work as hard as you can, and they really actually work as hard as they can. It's insane. They really they work hard. They do things that they can, and yeah. So that's what's happening. Keep an eye on it. Make sure you keep an eye on it, and yeah. You want to check up on ZNPP. I've not heard anything from that, but let's check up on further things here. South Korea K239 Shumno rocket launcher arrives in Poland. Poland's buying everything. I mean, let's face it. Poland is going to be one of the more mighty powers of all time, right? Because it's buying whatever the fuck it can get its hands on that works. South Koreans, by the way, some of their systems are very advanced. You ever want to buy your microchips from anywhere? I suggest either Japan, Taiwan. I'm not sure if South Korea makes any, but if they do, buy South Korea. Buy South Korean. Let me see. Will she ever tour North Korea? I want her here. There's some people pretending from being North Korea. There's some people pretending to be from North Korea typing on Twitter saying like, "Oh, I'm from North Korea." Like, I doubt it. Tested from North Korea's new corvette. Yeah, the strategic missile test that took place here, I think it was yesterday. Kim Jong-un was there himself taking a look at it, looking and thinking to himself that was a nice job, and then he went home and had a great time probably. Got no idea what happened after that, but it happened. Yeah, North Korean president or leader, supreme leader, the greatest man alive for you right here, guys. This is how Kim Jong-un presents himself when he's going on a run here. This is why this Putin, he's gonna be very impressed after seeing this. But, I mean, I'm actually continuously impressed to see this happening right here. How the fuck did he even do that? This is obviously Xi Jinping. Let's be honest, that's quite impressive. You know, putting aside to the factor that it's a fucking what the fuck? Some people are just impressive. I mean, the videos of athletic people swinging everything around. I mean, it is quite impressive. I gotta agree. So we got President of Turkey recap. Erdogan stated today that he wishes the return of constitution and democratic order Republic of Niger, but that he does not support ECOWAS military intervention in the country. However, Turkey will continue to focus on their key role in ongoing situation. And the funny thing is, they say they're democratic, but they're also managing to be the 8th poorest country in the world. So, you know, see how far that democratic side got them. Oh, Prigozhin has launched a new video. Prigozhin released a new video saying he's in Africa and working for Russia to be great and powerful across the world, heading to Niger. Alright. All that. This is supposedly Prigozhin in Africa.
Работаем. Температура плюс 50. Все как мы любим. ЧВК «Вагнер» проводит РПД. Делает Россию еще более великой на всех континентах. А Африку еще более свободной. Справедливость и счастье для африканских народов. Кошмарим ИГИЛ, Аль-Каиду и других бандосов. Берем на работу настоящих богатырей. И продолжаем выполнение задач, которые были поставлены и которые мы давали обещание, что справимся.
Yep. So that's him in fucking Africa. What the fuck he's doing there? Convoys are still pouring into Niger from Burkina Faso, defying ECOWAS sanction. I feel like this ECOWAS thing. I mean, let's be honest. How powerful of a whole thing is it actually gonna be? I feel like this war is gonna be either avoided or it's gonna happen in a smaller fashion. But I feel like everybody's now turning against ECOWAS, which is the funny thing because to start with, everybody was with ECOWAS, and now everybody's turning against ECOWAS. I feel like it's funny because in reality, the people are happy with the new rule. I mean, are they not? In reality, people are happy with what's going on in Niger, and people want to move to that point. The only issue we have is that people, those guys, in that country, are moving to a unfortunate, more pro-Russian, pro-authoritarian side, which is why I think we have our interventions that may be happening. Because if we are allowing a country to go more pro-Western and giving Russia a base in Africa and a rule in Africa, which they've already quite been given at this point, that now they are operating in the area now, and they're actually what appears to be helping each other out. So the only problem that we have with Niger's government right now is that they're pro-Russian. The only other thing that I have my eye on is if they don't particularly help out, but the only issue that we are doing in Africa is trying to rule a country that Niger, Africa is not ours. It's not European anymore. It never has been European. There are areas in Ukraine turning on right here. This is a funny thing. I've not seen this one. I've not seen it like this before, but there are some areas here turning on right now. But, if there's some economic upswing that could be happening in the country, and people actually are happy about that rule of a switching out of a president that has brought the country to its knees, and the country has been brought to its knees because the country does not have money. It has not had money for a very long time. If it can have some economic upswing, I would love to see that. And also, maybe it's time for the European Union to realize grasping Africa and turning against Africa more and more, acting as if we are in the rule, is only going to push the African countries more and more towards China and Russia to look at what, if they're going to be pushed more and more together towards China and allowing those countries to turn to a more authoritarian rule. But the reason why we're saying, like, how dare they? But in reality, we are the ones imposing not only sanctions but rules on them that doesn't profit them, but puts them in a place where they can't reform. So yeah. Well, the reason why they have closed, the reason why I believe that they're told to leave is that the U.S. may have received intel that Lithuania, Latvia, Poland may be closing the border to Belarus completely. If that does happen, nobody can get in and out, which means that any U.S. citizens inside of Belarus would be considered trapped and would be inside a future war zone if that was a thing. So I believe that the reason why they're now closing up its borders is because they are Well, I mean, the reason why they're not getting respect from it is because we have countries like France and England and stuff like that. Mostly France collect in ensuring that they don't like the West, and they'll do anything not to like the West, and they will not like try and like they won't like the West because they don't, because they're being oppressed by people who live in the West, countries who are from the West, especially France. France is literally doing us nothing good by trying to overtake a country that isn't theirs and staying in a country that isn't theirs. The U.S. sure has given a lot of efforts and protection means in Africa, has done a lot towards the stabilization. France has not only allowed Wagner to take over control in some areas, but they've also been there to destabilize by not only taxing but still remaining its own currency in the area, and in many ways destabilizing the region with their own internal problems. And you know, that's what some of the deals that they made when they gave up their colonies. So yeah, the U.S. has provided a lot, but they're well,
Determined to
I don't think
continue.
people would.
But behind his public confidence, the pressure's growing.
I don't particularly think people are gonna die. I think maybe humanitarian aid is what we need to continue, considering the area is so poor. But but they also need to understand that there are many people in Africa, and a good majority of people in Africa that do live on their own, and tribes, and well, I mean, people that does have food, but are under authoritarian rules. And the reason why they're under authoritarian rules is because not only have we pushed them away from the West, we've pushed them so much to go democratic that they hate being democratic, which is the funny part. It's like a double entendre because it's it's like a double kind of down effect. You're pushing them to be democratic so much that they are choosing to be authoritarian because their uses of these authoritarian is like, you know, well, I'm not so sure. It's a little bit more complicated than the whole thing about the U.S. wanting the oil and the resources. It's a bit more complicated than that, but you know, there certainly is pretext, towards like, oh yeah, we want to help you out, and then the reason why we want to help you out is so we can get access to some of the resources. And that is true, but there are also genuine ways as we want to help out because Africa is in a deeply mortified state. Although looking at projections, Africa is set to be one of the most prominent and you know how would you say, like, looking at projections in the future, Africa is set to be developing so much more, and is set to become go from being third world countries, and some of them may even become, second world country. How you would say, taking a third world country to a second level state, and creating real opportunities for people in the country. But that's all for the future, right? DV, Alexander, how you doing? But we also need to understand that people can also survive on their own. Of course, there are warlords, and protection-wise, they should be grateful because we have spent a lot of money on protecting them. But yeah, it's another thing, I'm doing fine. Well, a lot of the money that the U.S. gives to Africa goes mainly towards defense purposes. Not only from their own forces, I mean, the whole idea behind giving people money to you know eat is a weird idea because if I would relied on other people to give me money just so I could eat, I'd never learn for myself to not only provide for myself, but I would just expect everything to come to me. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in Africa. Listen, I'm not saying that the whole African people are just expecting us to give them everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that maybe there's more options than just giving them short-term solutions. I mean, what we're doing is giving them short-term solutions. Although we have seen economic upswings, and the countries in Africa will probably have more economic upswings as we are looking forward in the future. How you doing, Vaughn? And also see just a few projections from Nigeria, for example. From 2000 to all the way up to between, I think I was in 2015. They hit a almost record high of almost 600 billion, and they went down. This is their GDP, right? But they have gone down. But there's economic upswings that has been happening in the country. South Korea, for example, as well. You can see these projections right here, and you see how they all pretty much struck gold in between these areas. And there has been many ways and many things that's helped them out throughout the years. I mean, this is incredibly enough, this is when we got into COVID, and all of these countries when they got into COVID did see some downswing. As you can see, there's some downswing right there, but incredibly enough, countries like Egypt and stuff like that didn't see much downswing at all. And going forward, there's probably not going to be that much of a downswing in the economy. Ghana is a very poor country. It's a smaller country, but not only Ghana, for example, as Ghana has been acquired, but looking back as well in 2000, right? Again, Mali has seen some economic, but looking forward in the future with their projections as well is meant to go up. Ghana, for example, has pretty much seen non-stop economic upswing these past few years. Are expected to probably hit the $100 billion mark in 25 maybe. I mean, I'm not sure, but 25, 20, 26 maybe. Mali, who went from being, they all went from having seventh in 2000, having some of the lowest GDPs in the world, right, and then went to greater lengths. Mali not only having seen a massive upswing from 2 to 19, from Senegal going from in 2000 and go back to the 1960s, that's not a lot of money right there, right? It's not a lot of money, and we go up. So, going back to when Mali even existed as well, going back to in the 1967, Ghana did see a continuous upswing, a very slow upswing. In 2007, they pretty much all struck gold and went upwards. So I feel like the people saying like Africa is still being poor. Africa still is a poor country, and they need to figure out the distribution of the new found wealth. But I am seeing the upswing of. We may be seeing a new upswing, from Africa. It's just to point some of them out. I mean, that's just me pointing some of them out. There's a lot more to point out. But take a look at pretty much any of the African countries. There are some of the African countries that still have many issues in developing. But, you know, going back 20 years, you're not going to see something like ECOWAS or something like that. Have you seen this, Vaughn? Check this shit out, Vaughn. Is he gone? Don't be gone. Come on. It may still be there. It may have just gone off radar. Damn it. Asshole. Just went off radar. There's a Belarusian plane from Belarus here in Venezuela. That means that there is a Russian ally, one of the closest in the world, is in Venezuela. We don't even know if it's flown by Belarusian soldiers. It could be Russians. There's 3 B-52s up. I don't know if they're still up, but they've been up all day right now. There's possibly still one in Louisiana that may have just landed. E-3s, they're not up anymore. That one right there, that's a B-52. There was 3 B-52s at one point. There was 3 B-52s at one point up today alone. 2 Doomsday planes, multiple amount of P-8s, tankers all over, river joints, cobra balls. They are looking at everything and everything they can look at. And there are also surveillance going on from Colombia right now. There's a Colombian helicopter in the area just on the border of Colombia and Venezuela. And a Cessna also, but that's a training. I think it's just a training plane. That's not really looking at Venezuela, but, you know. There are also some planes that took off from the U.S., which turned off the transponder, which went down towards that area. So, you know, count me wrong, but I think something's either happening or is about to happen. But they're definitely gonna make a story out of that. Let's not forget that, guys. Let's not forget that. Have you seen the Magic Man? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's the second one. There may actually be 4 B-52s because that one. Look at this one right here. Because I know that there was one near sorry, what's that called? Louisiana and Texas. They may have landed. I'm not sure about that. But there's now 2 up here, which weren't there before. Oh, thanks. Thanks, 88SB. You're really... Oh, you're just so great, 88SB. You realize how great you are? B-52 and another B-52. Just call it 000. No call sign. Jesus Christ. I mean, they're just going off right now. I swear to fucking God. Sometimes I fucking hate 88SB. And it's so slow sometimes. Oh, it's back. Look at that. Where's it going? Where's that fucker going? Is it landing? No, it's not. It's at 29,000 feet. Heading out towards the ocean. Look at that. You know what could fucking suck if it landed in Cuba? Gotta watch how Have a good time, John. Hope it's a good match. There may be 4 B-52s, by the way. That's a chopper right here from Colombia. That chopper right there, look at that. It's either keeping an eye out or it's doing something. Although, having a chopper keep an eye on something that's, 29,000 feet in the air, it's going to be a hard job. But I just realized that myself. But, wow. Okay, I mean, it's from Belarus. I mean, I don't know what the fuck it's doing. I don't think Colombia is that aligned. I'm not sure if they're allowed to fly over Colombia. There may be. I mean, if they're going to Cuba, why not just fly over? Why not just fly straight over? Here by float. There's no airports out here, which is the weird thing. There's no airports here. I mean, unless they're landing here, which then they would have to be turning in soon and also turn down a bit. But whatever they're doing, it's kind of scary, isn't it? I mean, if they're going to Cuba, that's the Cuban crisis all over again, guys. Cuban crisis all over again. Is that what Russia is doing? Is that what they're looking into? Restarting the fucking Cuba crisis? Then they're gonna ask, we're not gonna take our missiles out of Cuba unless you stop supplying Ukraine with weapons. Boom. Strike 2, right? That could be, I'm not gonna give it to them, but that would be a clever move. Fuck. Is that what they're doing? God fucking damn it. I mean, I don't know how many is coming in, but either by boat. The Soviets didn't fly it in. They used boats to get what they needed in when we had the Cuba crisis in the 60s, right? I mean, they used boats mainly, but that's also because mainly the planes that was back then did not have capabilities like that. I mean, there was transatlantic planes, of course, and you could obviously fly. There's a river joint in Alaska now. That's great. There's so many surveillance planes out there. It's insane. Cannot sit here and say that there's not something going on. It's either they're doing a massive fucking exercise. And I know that they are doing an exercise of some sort, but I just don't know if it would be at homeland. I thought it was going to be in South Korea. South Korea and Japan has just let go of centuries of hate towards each other, by the way. Don't count me wrong. Oh, sorry. There we go. There's an update from 7PP. So the water levels are still stable. Cooling pond is stable. Despite the Russian occupiers blowing the Kakava Dam, the situation remains stable. It's under control. As of 9 on August 21st, a slight decrease in the water levels in the cooling pond was detected. It's, but whatever. It's a very slight. There has been very slight changes. It's staying at 16. Although if it's going at this rate, you know, eventually it's gonna run out. If it, you know, but it won't be for maybe a year or something like that. So at the moment, ZMPP is very, very safe and stable. Function-wise, it's okay. You know, safety-wise, considering that the Russians are still in control of the fucking thing, no. Ouch. Alright, the U.S. Embassy in Belarus published a statement to the citizens departing from the country immediately. Notes Lithuanian government closure of border crossing at and some on the 18th, further border crossings by Poland, Lithuania. So, not only did I just call it out without actually having read this statement, listen, I called it out, I didn't read the statement, and I said the possibility of them closing the border is probably why they're leaving the country. Let's read this together, guys, because that's how fucking smart I am. The U.S. Embassy in Belarus published a statement urging U.S. citizens to depart from the country immediately. Notes the Lithuanian government closure of border crossing of, I can't read that, Vidishny Sumkas, 2 border crossings, right, in Lithuania, closed. And the 18th, further border closings by Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia are possible. So, statement is, and I can't read that, but whatever. The Lithuanian government in August closing actions to do not travel to Belarus, have contingency plans in place. They're also saying to the citizens, have contingency plan, you know, have like, you know, keep your passport close. You know, what they're saying is, something may be happening sooner or later, and if something does happen, please have your everything ready to get the fuck out of there, is what they're saying, because they know that the closing of those borders could be seen as a legality against well, how would you put it? A threat. I think a threat would be the best point to put it, guys. A threat against the U.S. I will say that there was an E3 out of Florida, so let's just point out, guys, that there may be more than one Belarusian plane in that area, because there was an E3 keeping an eye on outside of Florida. Like, it was, and that Belarusian plane is not turning left. It is literally heading for, I guess, either Haiti, Jamaica, or Cuba. Or maybe the Dominican prop, you know, but it looked like it took off from Barbados, Barbosa, so like, I don't know. But, yeah, look at it, you know, and this is what's happening right here, guys. It's probably, if it goes to Cuba, it's the Cuba crisis all over again. Let's not. I don't know how old you guys are. If you're alive, and anybody in here is alive that was alive in the '60s during the Cuba crisis, I don't doubt it, but I feel like, you know, you have to be at least in your 60s. You have to be in your 60s and above, in your 70s if you want to remember it. But Barbados. All right, there we go. Yeah, I got it. It's not spelt like that, but obviously because it's not, you know, then it's still. It's, you know, yeah, I got it. I just read it directly, and it says Barbados, but it's obviously Barbados. Yeah, that's right. But there was an E3 here, like of all places, right? There was an E3 here. Not down here, not here, not here. Keeping an eye on that plane. Here. Why? Because it's probably keeping an eye on what's happening here or here. There's no storm in this area. There's a storm over here. And why would they send an E3 to keep an eye on the storm? Wouldn't do that. Hillary is not even here. It's over here. You know, that E3 is either keeping an eye on what's going on here in this area in the Gulf of Mexico or Cuba. And listen, if they're sending spy planes over Cuba, we're not going to see those, you know, we're not going to be seeing those. They're not going to turn on their transponders for the spy planes. And a multiple amount of B-52s are up right now. You know, I mean, there may be close to 4 B-52s in the air that we can see off because, look, there it is. That's the E3. Look at it. There it was. It's still up right there. It was there. Well, it could have been, you know, keep an eye out, just normal maintenance, but whatever it was doing, it was in this area, right? And this guy right here is not going down in altitude. It is going up. It's gone up since it got over here. It was at 20,000, and if I was going to land somewhere in Venezuela, but it's gone up. It's not going down, it's going up. And it's a Belarusian plane. Listen, if it were Russian, that would have made more headlines. But the reason why it's Belarusian is because Russia wouldn't do it. They're not going to put themselves on the line anymore. They're telling the Belarusians to do it. You know? How you doing? How you doing, Witcher? But yeah, I mean, multiple amount of B-52s, and I doubt they've even landed at this point. I mean, this is insane. I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen that before. It's been rare since I've seen 3 B-52s up, and river joints, and doomsday planes, and P-8s, and now this one right here is a multiple amount of Russian cargo planes, and right here as well, a fucking Belarusian cargo plane as well in Iran right now, probably heading down towards United Emirates, Qatar, Oman, probably something like that, right? Look at that, and that right there is probably that looks like look at that. That looks like God, I can't even speak right now. It looks like probably like a Belarusian border plane right there. Keep an eye out. Forte 10 as well up. Tankers in the area was up. Doing rounds around here, probably having more surveillance planes in the area. A Cobra Ball in the fucking Baltics, or it's not the Baltics, in the Pacific. Yeah, of course. Right when I need to zoom in, that's when it crashes. I fucking love and hate Flight Tracker at the same time. It's so. I mean, sometimes maybe it's just my PC that's shit. Now it's turning. Did it just bait the whole world? What's it doing? There's not an airport. There's not an airport out here. There's nothing out here. It's just deserted land. Well, I mean, there's multiple villages, but I don't think they're gonna land in a village. Aruba? I mean, why land in Aruba? Why not just go like that or like that? What is it doing? I mean, why is it out there? I just don't get where it's going. That's what I don't get. Is it like a wild goose chase we're on right now? I mean, I just don't know. Why is it out there? That's what I don't get. Is it looping around? I mean, did it just bait the whole world into thinking something was going to happen, or did it just get turned away by someone? Listen, I don't know what the hell that is, but I'm gonna be right back, guys. I need something to drink. Got no idea if it's going to Cuba. Why Cuba? Why not Cuba? Cuba is one of the last authoritarian rulers that's left that Russia can bank its tack on. That's close to the USA or Venezuela. It could also just back its tack on Venezuela and then land in Venezuela, which is what I thought it was going to do first. I mean, it's obviously allowed this Belarusian plane to take off and land or fly over its airspace. What it's doing now, I have no idea. You know, I mean, how you doing, Nicholas? But again, you know, now we got areas in Kiev region turning on now. Let's keep an eye on it, see if anything does happen. Belarus scares you? You should not be scared of Belarus. Trust me, there's no reason to be scared of Belarus. The only reason that there is because of the nuclear weapons, of course, but they have very limited, you know. Listen, Belarus has very limited resources, and it's not a modern military. You know, don't be scared of Belarus. Do I believe Belarus got nukes from Russia? Where the fuck else would they get it from, Lon? What else? Where the fuck else would they get nuclear weapons from? They can't produce them on their own. What is he doing? I mean, what the fuck are you doing, mate? That's obviously some kind of jamming going on there. I mean, they're getting pretty close to the U.S. mainland, so no wonder there's jamming going on. Man, when I say close, I mean when you're a Russian ally and you get about, what is this, 1,000 miles, more than 1,000 miles, about. It's very far. When you get about this far as a Russian ally, that's when the U.S. starts to get worried about you and will do anything in your power to keep you away. So this is considered close for the U.S. By the way, I just want to point that out. you know. Where the fuck is he going? He was obviously going like this. So going straight, right? It went straight. Or something like that. And then it's jamming or something going on there. I mean, it didn't just go like this. I just don't know where it's going. That's my only problem with it. I don't know why the fuck it's flying like this. I don't get why it's doing this. Like, if it's going to Cuba, why not just fly straight? If it's going to Cuba, why not just go around? If it's going to Puerto Rico, it's going somewhere. It's drawing the sea. That's definitely what it's doing. They just laid claim to the whole Caribbean Sea by drawing a sea. Yeah, that's what they did. Hmm. No, now it's over there. What? Oh. The fuck is Ventusky? Is a map? Is a map? There's obviously storms going on. Oh, there's storms going on, right? I mean, I knew that, so. Oh yeah, obviously they wouldn't want to be flying through a storm. That's probably right. Franklin. How you doing, Franklin? Where you at? There's a storm outside of where it's flying. The weird part is that it's that where it's flying, you know, Franklin is what the fuck? That's so that one right there, that's Franklin, right? Well, this is, you know, it's flying. It's flying outside of Columbia. Franklin's there. If it wanted to avoid Franklin, it would have to go that way. So lights are going that way. Thing on temperature. Pretty. Belarus will see as a threat? What do you mean? What are you talking about, Vaughn? See what as a threat? No, I get. Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll see where it goes, right? I mean, it's being jammed the shit out of. It's going some kind of weird way. I don't know where the fuck it's even going. It's going some kind of weird way. I think Flight Trader is having probably some trouble tracking for the storm. I mean, if you're having a massive storm in the area and you have a satellite trafficking, right? And that's gonna provide some static. Put on the rain icon. And that guy. I see. Well, that still doesn't explain why they're going that way. I mean, it does explain why the plane appears to be going the other way while it's tracking to be going the other way. It's probably going the other way. I mean, I don't know what the fuck it's doing, but yeah, I mean, I see that the storm is worse out to the right, so it's probably going to be heading out to the right. It would be, there's thunder as well. It's going to be heading out to the left. That's where it's the easiest to get through. Yeah, I don't know. Stuff. Let's keep an eye on it still. Doesn't matter. What's that? Minutes ago, the U.S. State Department announced it approved Poland's request to buy 96 AH-64E Apache attack helicopters from a maximum of USD 12 billion. So just point out, guys, that I put out a statement yesterday as well. People pointing out the fact that the U.S. is losing money during this war is fucking complete bullshit. Because the U.S. is not losing money during this war. So, generally thinking that the U.S. is quote-unquote losing money, the U.S. is set to actually make more money than they had before. Think about it. You know, the Russian weapons are shit. You know, it's turning more shit than ever, right? Nobody wants to buy Russian. Everybody wants to buy American. Americans are set to make more money. Poland is buying everything up. They've set to put out and buy worth 30 billion at this point. So 30 billion having bought from the USA means that the USA could make up half of what it's already sent to Ukraine, and its weapon industry could be, you know, pretty much paid off that one, right? But yeah, listen. I mean, you may think to it that's not what's happening, but it is. They are gonna be making more money than before. Tucker Carlson, after the interview with the Serbian President Vučić, NATO and the USA are destroying German economy. Tucker said that after this meeting, the interview at the Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić, that what his claim was confirmed by Vučić. The print was oh, that's a lot to read. I'm not gonna read that. That's a lot. I'm not gonna read that. It takes too long. American Major Anthony Potts has been killed in a Russian missile strike on NATO headquarters in Ukrainian city of Dnipro. U.S. military admits his death, but claims he was killed by a plane crash. What? There's not a fucking NATO headquarters in Ukraine, you fucking moron. Why the fuck would there be NATO headquarters in Ukraine, you fucking moron? They're not in fucking Ukraine. Fucking moron. Why the fuck would there be a NATO headquarters in Ukraine? Fucking moron. Spin the fucking narrative, Russian pro motherfucker. Yeah, idiot. This is Poland for you as well. I mean, this is a Polish politician right here as well. Is that? No, I thought it was the Danish channel. Was that? So what she's symbolizing here is the cries of the Ukrainian children. And the way she does that is by screaming into the camera. And then you go to ask her, have you ever yourself donated any money to Ukraine? No, but I went on camera and screamed into the camera for about 40 seconds and held a sign in the air. And to that end, that's actually what I did. And, that helped out a lot. I'm pretty sure that every Ukrainian and Zelensky is pretty happy about the factor that I went on live national television, screamed into a fucking mic, and acted as if that was helping out the Ukrainians, screaming into a fucking mic. Yeah. Look at that guy. He's so close to fucking laughing. How the fuck is he taking it seriously? Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's so... Hey, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's so close to fucking laughing. It's hilarious. Huh? Look at him. What the fuck is she thinking? And why the fuck is it that every time there's a woman like this on national television that does anything like this, they don't know what a fucking bra is? If you're gonna do this, right? They go on national television. Why do they do this? Because they want men to look. Why do you think that? Well, because a bra has been invented. And a bra is actually something that everybody uses. But apparently, every time this woman who speaks for the rights of Ukrainian children, they don't know that a bra exists. So they usually go on national televisions braless. And you can see that. So, yeah. I mean, it's, I get the whole application of, I get the whole, like, going for Ukraine, helping out. But if you donated some money, that would have done more than what you just did right there. You donated some money, would have done a lot more than what you just did right there. What did she think she was doing? What did she think that was, tree huggers don't wear bras? Apparently not. Putin's foot soldier Ramzan Kadyrov rose to take Poland in 6 seconds after Ukraine. I would have told him that if he doesn't shut the fuck up, I'd bomb the shit out of everything that he has, but okay. That's from May 26, 2022, you fucking moron. Jesus Christ, that's such an old statement as well. People are now like, breaking news. This person right here, right? Breaking news. Ramsey. Putin's foot soldier Ramsey Kadyrov rose to take Poland in 6 seconds after Ukraine. Breaking news, published May 26, 2022. Breaking news, guys. It's breaking news. I mean... hits in the Kyiv region ramping up. Probably a Chinese drone, right? Iranian, Chinese, Russian, whatever. What's the difference at this point?
Стройными рядами стоят южнокорейские танки K2 Black Panther. Точно. Я просто напомню, что британская The Telegraph уже сообщила, что Варшава намерена вдвое увеличить численность своих солдат и создать самую большую сухопутную...
Yeah, so Russia is also stating to Belarus, right, that, Poland, that if you strengthen your military anymore, we'll attack, they say. Wow. I can imagine how... Oh, shit. There are multiple attacks right now. Chechnya region and Kyiv. I can imagine Poland shaking in their pants after hearing Belarus is gonna attack. Oh no! What will we ever do? Tell you what we're gonna do. Gonna fuck him up. That's what we're gonna do. So, Super King, United States Super King military, 4,000 feet in the air. That's also a reconnaissance aircraft. Heading out towards just outside Florida that took off from what's that? From Honduras, and it is heading down towards Kyiv. Sorry, not Kyiv. I got Kyiv on my mind. Cuba. God damn it! So many things going on. My brain is going melting down. My brain has literally gone into fucking meltdown mode. It's I don't know. It's beyond anything right now. Stars on the fjord and the ice cold turn. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this Belarusian plane is doing. I mean, it's acting very strange. Look at it. What the fuck is it doing? Now it's just showing it's going over here. I think it's over here somewhere, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. No idea. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if Poland's going to announce any closing of their border with Belarus. I mean, this could be announced whenever. or however, but yeah, at the moment we're still seeing about it, you know. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I hope it crashes too. It went to the left. Gone a bit right now. I think it's still flying left. I mean, it appears to be flying left, right? Over here and going around the storm, which is out here. So I think it's just tracking or doing something wrong there. God, I mean, my brain out of the fucking melting pot right now, right? It's out of the fucking melting pot. What the fuck is happening? We've got a Belarusian plane in the middle of the fucking, what is that? The Caribbean Sea. God knows where. God know where. God doesn't know where the fuck it's going. Still going somewhere. Where the fuck is it going? I got no idea. You know where it's going? I don't know. Socialism is better than capitalism, they say. And would you rather live in North Korea or South Korea? I think I'd choose South Korea any day. I mean, according to your vice president, come on over into the U.S. According to the U.S. Vice President, they have a long-standing relationship with North Korea and not South Korea. And apparently, the Vice President thinks that South Korea is the enemy. So, you know, you may end up attacking South Korea. You know, you never know. With the president that you have and the Vice President, I mean, Biden, I'll give him credit for the fact that he's just made a historic deal between South Korea. See what I did there? See what I did there? See what I did there? I said North Korea. That was hilarious. South Korea and Japan, because they've had internal feuds since the Second World War, and external feud. I would actually say, and that has led to them not really. Giving out anything, right? But, you know, whatever the hell is going on, somebody's going on. What? There's a plane called... It's on the fucking ground. It's your feet. It says, follow me. It's not a picture. It's like a... It just says, follow me. What? It's on the ground. It's driving. It's not a plane. It's driving. Driving on a fucking taxi? It's driving on a fucking taxi. What? It's a plane driving on a fucking taxi. It went out. It's been in the grass. It's not even a plane. It's a fucking... It's a car. What? What? Alright. Fair enough. That's, That's weird. Oh, there's two of them. This one right here just means explosion. This one right here means that there's been reports about explosion. This one means that there's been explosions. You know, it's like reports, explosion. It's kind of like confirmed, or, you know. I think that's what it means. Not sure. One minute ago, Kiev Oblast, all clear. The color underneath, by the way, I think... No, actually, I know what it means. This one right here means that there is both a threat of attack and a explosion. Reports of explosion. This one means that there's a report of explosion, but no more threats. So the air raid on the back is off. So this red color right here is off. That's why it's completely yellow. Because there is an all clear in Kiev region. So that's what it means. So, yeah. El Hopo. There's a plane from Qatar took off from America. Not every day you see that either. Belarusian plane is gone. There's still two B-52s up. I don't know why they try to keep City. I don't know either. I mean, it seems to me that, yeah. Well, I mean, Kiev region is much larger than Kiev City, of course, so makes kind of sense. Still, Doomsday plane? No, C5M, the big boy, the Galaxy, Super Galaxy. There's a river joint in Alaska heading out towards the sea, the Bering Sea, and yeah, keep an eye on that one as well. Obviously heading out there to do something. There's a lot of aircraft up over the United States right now. I'm not worried too much about implications. I also think Turkey is launching another attack on Syria. How do I know that? Because they got a Turkish military drone flying just outside Syria. Either it's doing surveillance for an attack, or it's launching another drone attack. Because it's done that before. It could do it again. Trust me, they do it a lot actually. There's a United States Black Hawk out here. Fair enough. Multiple amount of Black Hawks. There's a lot of Black Hawks up. Look at that. 4. Those Apaches? No, that's our Italian military. 2 Black Hawks. Yeah, 2 Black Hawks. It looks like they're doing some kind of maybe some kind of massive air exercise or something. Apache. Poland just bought a bunch of Apaches. Gonna build up the largest military in the fucking world. Is that what they're doing? You want to join the military? Move to Poland. You can join up the military there because they are looking for people to join up with. I mean, Poland has turned from being a country that's just there to a economic, military powerhouse. Really, I mean, they are at this point uninvadable. They got a Kawasaki 2 over C2 over in what's that? Japan. There we go. My brain is fried. Yeah, that's still a Belarusian plane. Same as the one in the just outside. Just same in the one in the Caribbean. Yeah, it's in the Persian Gulf right now. It's heading towards either United Emirates or some country that's also been known to doing deals with Russia. Russia is heading to China, and I mean it is not only just happening; it is going off at a rapid rate. And be very, very quiet. They are still hunting rabbits. armed forces of Niger Mali. I read that one. The Russian air defense sources are reporting that an attack against Sheikh Air Base in Calgary. Why does these fucking names have to be so fucking weird? Western Russia by the Ukrainian armed forces was foiled earlier today after the drone down by air defense resulting in a fire breakout in the site which was yeah. Tropical storm Hillary has crossed the border into southern California near San Diego, marking the first tropical storm to struck the Pacific coast since 1939. The storm made landfall in Baja California earlier today. I did upload something I wanted to show you. Just a reminder of Hillary storm here. I wanted to show this video because it is quite important. If you are in America and in the area and you have not seen this video yet, it was uploaded in so upload to TikTok.
The storm is growing stronger and getting closer. We're only 24 hours out. A hurricane warning is up. So finish securing windows and openings with shutters or plywood. Remove all loose items on your property and follow advice of local officials and evacuate if told to do so. Now, the outer bands of the storm are just coming ashore, and it's time to be at your safe location. Family members and friends, they need to know where you are, so share your plans. And remember, all your electronics need to be fully charged because with a storm like this, let me tell you, the power, it could be out for days. And the weather's going downhill fast. Landfall is upon us. Trees are starting to come down. Now is the time to shelter in place and ride out the storm.
So, I mean, it is quite extreme. I do provide caution. I mean, I think the storm is already in the U.S. at the moment, but I wouldn't want to provide any caution to anybody. Cuba? What do you mean, Vaughn? Hurricane Quagnado. More regions turning on Ukraine. Quite common areas in the front lines. I mean, it's the Hillary. You know? Storm has so far caused significant flooding across southern California, with more rain expected over the coming hours. Here we go. This is 19 hours ago as well. I mean, I'm a bit late on the whole showing the video. I did share it on my Twitter a lot earlier, so I just want to point that out. So this is pictures and a video here of the situation in California. You can see it's quite severe flooding right there. The rain has fallen from the sky. The whole sky's just open up right there. It's not a great time to have an electric car. I mean, I wouldn't recommend. If you do have a diesel car, please do drive your diesel car. Do not go in this weather with your Tesla. You know, despite how. mean, you know, that's a fire hose right there. So that's, what is it? It's like close to, what's that? Close to like 20 centimeters of water? 30 centimeters? A little bit less, a little bit more? 15, 25 maybe? Okay, it's a lot. Russia and the US, it will be a battlefield of sorts? No, Cuba will not be a battlefield, Lon. Won't be a battlefield. Because they're not, you know, they're not that involved. But, of course, if they do launch from Cuba, then sure, Cuba will be involved in it. That's true, but it won't be the main battlefield. The main battlefield will be in Europe. So, no, Cuba will not be turned into a full-scale battlefield unless they launch a nuclear attack from there or any kind of attack. Then the retaliation from the U.S. would obviously be on Cuba to try and stop the threat. But later than that, it would be European mostly battles, because they would you know, they would know that it was the Russians. I mean, I do know the locals of the area could be put into danger if anything was to happen from that area. It could become a battlefield of sorts, but main battles is going to be turned into Europe. But that's a far assumption right now. It's a very far assumption, and saying stuff like that can also, you know, scare people and all that stuff. And we have no evidence of anything happening in Cuba, and I have no evidence of Belarus or anybody going to Cuba. Vaughn, I just said that they may be going there, so let's not, you know, do any fear mongering here right now. It's not valuable unless we can confirm it, you know. But it's, I'm sure if they are to do it, but there's no indications of it. Let's not say that right now, please. Real free of 100 today. I hate summer. There's always rain in Canada. No, there's not, but it's good. It's good that we have some rain in Canada for once. we need rain in Canada. Is the reason why, you know, if you haven't heard, a lot of fucking fires. Has she got aircon? No. It's America. They don't use aircon. They use jet engines from F-52 from F-22s to cool their houses. That's America. In Kyiv region, heard explosion reported. Subscribers primarily the work of air defense were waiting for official information. The Russian has started to actively build the second and third lines of defense. Nally, a spokesperson of OC South, said they're trying to densify the defense, in particular by creating iron and concrete structures, further entrench deeper. But this work is already focused on the second line of defense and third line, and already starting to show itself faster. So yeah. Zelensky wrote in Danish. Thank you, God. Look at this. So we had. So he was in here. Together we prove that life is valued, that people matter, freedom matters, and Europe matters, and it will be written in history. Also due to Denmark being with Ukraine. Jeg takker jer Danmark, which means I thank you, Denmark. There it is. That's his wife, by the way. If you don't know who this woman is, and you've seen her around, this is his wife, Zelensky's wife, right there, Madam President. Quite an important role model as well. A lot of these people right here, heads of states and all that stuff. This right here, man. This right here is Jakob Ellemann, who is our defense minister, who was sick for a while. He's now back. But this right here is our defense minister. This is in our state capital. He's in Copenhagen. What does it say? What does it say right there? Yeah, so I mean, we don't take a look at this anymore, but apparently this is saying that the people of Denmark is supposed to be read inside of this. They're going into the Folketing, which is a Folketing Sand, which is the place where you where they speak about. Well, this is supposed to be where they make the decisions for the Denmark, right? And the people's voice is supposed to be heard here. I am sad that he had to meet her. I'm sad that I'm very sad the fact that he had to meet her and her. They don't really represent Denmark in any way possible. Neither does he. Come on, Twitter, please Please. I'm just doing a normal thing, re-rolling a fucking video sometimes. Can you just please fucking work for once in your fucking miserable life? So I mean, I am sad that he had to. I'm very sad that he had to meet her, and him, and her. We don't claim this. Yeah, I'm also very sad that he had to meet her, him. Sorry. Yeah, he's alright. Generals, right? Up there, it's very beautiful, right?
Is what we prove with our victory, with our cooperation. What you prove supporting Ukraine. Together, we prove that life is a value.
By the way, there's also a lot of Ukrainian residents in
that people matter.
Denmark.
Freedom matters. Europe matters.
There's an amazing amount of support from Denmark, and I average supporter here as well. Very awesome. I am sad that he had to meet, but we don't have to do that right now. Go into the talks about why I'm sad about him having to meet those guys, having them represent Denmark. I'm really sad about the fact that he had to do that, but yeah, we won't do that right now. We all have our own political views, and you know, their political views are very famously stupid, so no, I did it. Very cool to have him in his country, and to give him what he needs to win this war. I wish I was there myself. Although I do not live in the area. So, you know. He also, I believe, met some of the royal family. And, you know. Yeah, so, real cool, real cool. Really, really cool. Just amazing. That Belarusian plane, I cannot track it anymore. It's gone off the radar here. I will be right back, guys. I'll be right back. It's gonna go take a little short break here. Hey! If you got your car insurance, oh, and an E3. There's also an E3 in Alaska now. You know? That's a lot. That's a lot. Where's this guy going? Where's this guy going? Where you going, little buddy? Where are you going? You going over here? No, because how would you fly that way then? Mountainous terrain? Lots of mountains? You going over here? Over here? Over here? Where you going over there? Dude. Still got no idea what that Belarusian flight is. I've got a feeling in my bones that it's somewhere. Belarusian planes, yeah, landed in United Emirates, Arab nations. I mean, I'm fucking insanely clever. Get your news here first. Get your news here first, ladies and gentlemen. Get your news here first. President Biden has tweeted, "My heart, my prayers, and my focus are on the victims of Maui wildfires and their family. Jill and I are eager to meet with the brave first responders in La Hania tomorrow." 20 hours ago, so it's probably right. To spend time with families and community members who have witnessed firsthand what will be required for the community to recover. Biden, right? Zelensky's in Greece, by the way. I'll give you an update on where Zelensky is. So this is statement from some
таких винищувачів, які
experts, right? In order to replace the old aircraft fleet, Ukraine needs 128 fighter jets, air spokesman Yuri Ignat said. Skater War can make its adjustments, but then 100 aircraft are really needed to disperse them at different airfields so they can respond to different challenges to strike in different targets by air, by land, and enemy rear in particular. I mean, 100 would be a nice number. Yeah. Camilla, I mean, if she's up there flying the plane, then and we're gonna see a different end to Biden. Oh. I was just looking at one of the people from the Danish parliament, and I realized I know who she was. Well, I know, obviously, when I met her in person. Wow, okay. Yeah, well. She's also working quite closely with the defense minister, so quite cool.
Okay.
As I was watching a video, apparently there was a Russian, an elite Rosgavad unit suddenly went into mock execution and shot on the spectators from point blank range during the demonstration in Moscow suburb and injured multiple children shooting blank cartridges, at least one children injured by projectile from a gun. Fucking morons. Well, this one here is a blank bullet. It won't hurt the children. Only problem is, it won't hurt the children if you're a good mile away. You got a blank bullet right in front of you. It's gonna spread to the sides a bit. Yeah. Why did okay, so there's like Kanye Reeves, arguably one of the nicest people on fucking earth, right? He needs to shape up. Kanye Reeves blasts for chubby body while spending family day on boat. Family day on boat. He needs to shape up. By the way, right? The person who writes he needs to shape up is sitting at home on their couch with no money, no shit, while he's sitting on a fucking boat, a yacht, with his family, having a great time. Now think about the scenario, you know? I'm gonna say that. You know, to point out the factor here. I don't get why people do that. of all people to go against Kanye Reeves. He's such a nice guy. Genuinely, he's genuinely like a nice guy, and he's one of those people that doesn't have like a dark past, or you know, one of those like controversies that like really, really dark. Obviously, he's had controversies, but everyone's had that. You know, everybody makes mistakes once in a while, but it's not really like a dark one. Like you can't get over it, or you know, he's like really, really nice. So you know, the whole thing about. By the way, he looks like this. He's almost 60 years old. He's almost 60 years old. He, you know, and he looks like that. I would say he is not nowhere near chubby, and he doesn't even have what I would say a dad bod. You know, he's in his 50s. It looks like that. I would not say or call him directly chubby. I wouldn't say that. He's not even fat. He's nowhere near anything. He's not even anywhere near fat. Like he's a normal 50-year-old who, you know, like he's not fat at all or choppy or anything, you know. He's just normal, you know. Yeah, I mean, well, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. This has been me reporting to you. Still a lot of things going on. I will bring you the news tomorrow, unless things go to chop tonight. We'll probably have another night, but have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Goodbye.